Hey everyone, it's me, Kid India. Welcome back to the channel. Now in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to construct a 6-star pattern on a piece of paper of Islamic geometry. Then I'm going to take this design and we're going to construct it and animate it in After Effects. So it's going to be a lot, but let's get into it. So before we learn how to do Islamic geometry digitally, we need to learn how to do it on paper first. And learning how to construct these lines before we make the final one on paper is very, very important. So first thing, we're gonna need a compass and a pencil. I prefer to use a mechanical pencil because I don't have to sharpen it when I draw my lines. A ruler, of course, any ruler will do. In order to draw my final design, I use a red Sharpie. You can use blue, purple, whatever you feel like. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our ruler and we are going to draw a line across, and we're going to choose like a center point, like roughly maybe here. We're going to make this our center point, and we're going to draw our first circle. Where this circle intersects with the line, we're going to draw another circle. So make sure you're very, very accurate on each of these steps. Okay, and then make sure you choose the second one as well. This is the center point. There you go. And we're going to draw another circle right there. There we go. We're going to draw another circle using this intersecting point right over here. It's like a flower design that shows up. Make sure you don't rush any of these steps. You're always very patient and make sure you're very, very precise. It's quite simple, but precision is very important. There we go. We're going to draw so straight across, and as you can see, these lines, these points intersect over here really nicely. Okay, we're gonna intersect these as well. Okay, make sure these intersect as well. Very careful with these lines. And we're gonna intersect these as well. Okay, make sure these intersect as well. So this is a very critical part here. We're gonna draw 3 squares inside this circle. And the way I do it is I look at these 3 points, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to choose this point over here, and we're going to intersect it here. We're going to intersect this point and this point over together. Like that, and like that. And this is our first square inside the circle. Okay, I'm going to use this point over here, and I'm going to draw a square by intersecting these 2 points together. Okay. I'm going to intersect these 2 points over here. And these 2 points. So that's our second square. Now remember, 1, 2, 3. This is our third square here. Cool. And that, my friends, is very critical to drawing the 6-star pattern. Here we go. Okay. So now we've got 3 squares inside the main circle that we first drew. What these 3 squares are going to do is they're going to allow us to divide the circle into 15-degree segments because they intersect all together really well. So we're going to intersect these lines together now. The next 2 steps are very crucial to this pattern. We're going to take your compass and we're going to choose this point over here where these squares intersect, and we're going to choose this point over here as our circumference. This one's a bit finicky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another one on this side. So it's always the points outside. I'm going to choose another one here. I'm going to choose this as I'm going to choose a third one just in case, like this one over here. Okay. What these circles do, or what this tiny circle does, is it tells you the perimeter, or it tells you the circumference of the circle inside. So let's now go back in the center. Let's choose this circumference. There we go. Now if you did it right, these should be touching perfectly. So now, where this circle meets our 15-degree segment points, we're worried about, we're only concerned with those. So let's do that. Let's choose this point here, there, this point here, there. Let's choose this point here, this point here. Remember, it's where the 15-degree segments meet the inner circle. Okay, this point here and this point here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to choose this point here. We're going to look at this. 1, 2. Skip 1. Skip from here. Skip 1, 2, 2, where this meets. That's going to be a line here. Okay? So this one intersects 1, 2. There we go. That is going to be our intersection right there. Okay, so now you're going to see this diamond shape over here, and that's when you know you're on the right track. Okay. Okay, and 1, 2. There we go. So this should be our foundation for the 6-star pattern. So now let's grab our red marker and let's use these parallel lines as our leads to make this pattern. Let's start with the simple cross in the center. Okay. There we go. So if you've done this right, then you'll definitely be able to see a proper 6-star pattern. Obviously there's 12 rosettes here, but it's not perfect over here because I kind of messed up that little part over here, but be very careful when you draw these parts. And yeah, we're gonna move this into the animation phase now. Hey guys, so now that we're in the animation phase here, I just wanted to show you that basically what I did here is I took all of those construction lines and I animated it in After Effects. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. So we're going to start a new composition by pressing Command N, and I'm going to make this 1080 by 1920 because I want it to be vertical. And then I'm going to just put a background layer because I just want to show you how it's done, and then you could decorate it and stylize it your own way. So just like we did when we were constructing these lines, I'm gonna push this button here for the shape, hit shift, hold shift so it's a straight line. I'm gonna make sure the stroke is black, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go into contents, down here shape, I'm going to go into add, and I'm going to go to trim paths. This is really important because I want to make sure that these look really nice. So I'm going to keyframe the start and the end. Although I just need end, actually, not even the start. So I'm just gonna pull this back. So now we've got this animating like that. But I'm gonna grab these two keyframes, go to keyframe assistant, easy ease, go into the graph editor, and I'm going to smooth it out, so just like that. Okay. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the stroke width is 2.3 pixels. So this is kind of our foundation. I'm going to hit Command Option Home to make sure that my anchor point is actually right in the middle. There we go. So next step, I'm going to keep this unhighlighted. I'm going to click out of it, and I'm going to go to the ellipse tool, make sure I got my proportional grid, and actually now that I've got my proportional grid open, I'm going to just bring this down and center it here. So that's going to help me out a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to click out of this. I'm going to grab the ellipse tool over here. I'm going to choose this as my center, and I'm going to make a ellipse right over here. I'm going to go in the ellipse tool, make sure I do adds, and I go into trim paths, trim paths, and then I'm going to go to end, and I'm going to keyframe this back. So highlight, keyframe assistant, easy ease, and I'm just going to do that. So far we've got this animated, and we've got the ellipse. So I'm just going to time it so I can see both of them. You can highlight everything and just press U so you can see everything right away. Oh, by the way, make sure the fill is off. So grab this and turn this off. So now you can see through it. Okay. So we've kind of got this part down. What we need to do is we need to just get to the final 6-star pattern. But because this is an animation, you can kind of do it your own way. So I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to duplicate this ellipse, and I'm going to make sure I grab my proportional grid so I know where the center is. So that's basically how, After Effects helps us, or Photoshop helps us by helping us figuring out what goes where. Duplicate with Command D. There we go. Command D that. Home. I want to make sure Command Shift Home helps me where I am. Duplicate that, and now we've got the flower design right in the center. So you can grab these and press U, and then this will kind of help you, make your animation look nice and clean. Okay. The next step is, of course, we need to intersect these lines. One thing you can do that really helps me is you don't need to actually draw where it goes. You can actually just kind of rotate it, and what we need to know is that this is -45, so that's how you know that it's correct. It's actually really accurate. So obviously I could see where my mistake was, that these are not intersecting correctly. So I hit Command Shift Home. I'm going to make sure the circle lines up perfectly now. So that's how I know I made a mistake. So that's why doing it digitally helps a lot. So I'm going to make sure this is nice and clean. It looks perfectly intersected. Command D that and rotate it. Now we can go this way and go -135. So we can see that intersects. Okay, so now we've got that. We can even grab this, and I'm going to just make a 90-degree line. So there's that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it so it looks like it's happening in sequence. I'm going to move the keyframe so it looks like it's happening in sequence, just like that. So cool. So we've gotten this far at this moment. Now I'm going to duplicate this, and actually what I want to do is, just so it looks cool, I just go Command Y and kind of add like a new solid here. And then I fade this guy just like that, just so people know that, oh, this is like a new design on top of the old one. So I'm gonna make sure it's like white. It kind of looks like tracing paper going on top. Okay, so the next step here is I am going to, what we do in the actual construction using our hands is we make 3 squares inside. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is gonna be, this is gonna be our first square here. There we go. Okay, so that's our first square. I kind of did it roughly, just so you could see where these go. There we go. And then I'm gonna duplicate that, rotate it. Okay, but I want to make sure it's perfect. So I'm gonna make sure these lines intersect perfectly. One small mistake and the whole design starts to fall apart later on. Command D that. Oh, I want to make sure it's 30, and there you go. So those are my 3 squares. Make sure I fix the square so it looks nice and clean. Okay, so I've made this, but of course I did not do the trim paths, which was a mistake. So I'm going to go back and just do that real quick. I'm not going to do trim paths for these squares. Instead, I'm just going to scale them up and then rotate them into their position. It looks like they start off at 0 and then just like that, but I'm going to make sure they look nice and clean. There we go. Easy ease that guy. Bring this in. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so now we know that, you know, there's like another moment here where we can put another tracing paper on here, you know, it becomes a little bit lighter. And then I know that, so what these squares do is they tell us where the 15-degree increment lines are. And I'm gonna grab my first shape layer. I'm gonna bring that all right on top because that is my first line. I'm gonna rotate it by 15. And those, wherever those squares intersect, it should line up. 15 plus 15. And then so on and so forth, plus 15, 45 degrees. Rotate that into 60, and then rotate that 75, rotate that into, so our animation should so far look like this, just roughly. Just taking a look at all of the steps happening here. Oh, that ended up looking pretty interesting and cool. Okay. I'm just taking you through the steps and then we can do a cleanup after. Obviously, I want to make sure that these squares are not just linear keyframes. We want to make sure it looks nice and easy eased. I'll bring that in. There we go. There we go. I'm going to hit minus minus so I can zoom out, in and out. Cool. And there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, I want to make sure it's a little bit quicker because I want to make sure that, you know, people are always, you want to make sure people are always interested in what you're doing, and, you know, you want to pace it well. Pacing is really important in videos. And I'm going to grab all of these 15-degree lines, bring them all the way here. And there we go. We don't really have to do that, but one thing that really helps with this is if we stagger them. So let's do that. Let's stagger these keyframes here. Cool, cool, cool. I'm gonna make sure these keyframes. Now that we made this over here, we're gonna grab our ellipse and we are going to make our little circle, not there, but over here. Even I make that mistake sometimes. And this little circle, I'm gonna hit Command Option Home, make sure I center it with the anchor point. And I'm gonna go with Trim Paths, here we go, and make this 0, grab this guy, easy ease that, go. Smooth that out, and now I've got this. So duplicate that, and I'm going to scale this up because this little circle gives us the perimeter or the circumference of the big circle inside. So this is basically the moment of truth. I'm going to copy paste this tracing paper, put this right on top again, and this is going to tell us, okay, where are these parallel lines going to go? So this is a very interesting part. So obviously we need to draw this where the 15 degree meets the inner circle. So that's important. I'm going to make sure I make it a bit thick. 15 degree segment meets the inner circle. I'm going to duplicate that. Come around here. And there we go. That's my first pair of parallel lines. Duplicate that. Hit G. And I'm going to make the easier one now, which goes straight across. So here. These ones. There we go. And there we go. There we go. Okay, so those are my easy parallel lines. I'm going to hit G now. And I'm going to make my first set of parallel lines, which crosses over here. But remember, this one doesn't go here. It goes 1, 2. So that's where it meets. Okay, Command D. Duplicate that, hit, drag this over here. So 1, 2. But this one goes here. Okay, so that's my second set of parallel lines. I mean my third. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then now we're going to make one for this side. So we're going to start off with this. Remember, it crosses here and then doesn't go here, it goes here. Okay, you go 1, 2. 1, 2. Command D that. And now I'm going to bring this here. And there we go. There we go. Okay, Command D that. And now I'm going to cross this. The same thing over here goes here. Okay, I'm going to make sure it looks nice and clean. This guy. There we go. Command D that. Here. I need to make sure that these cross. There we go. So there's always 2 for each point. Okay. Now I need 1 more for these 2. Okay, Command D that. This guy over here, remember? This guy over here, grab this, and then it crosses right here. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it looks nice and clean again. Like that. And then Command D that. Same thing. This one crosses here, but then like here. Okay. There we go. So these 2 are now parallel. So this is our foundation for making our final 6-star pattern. So now I'm going to make another tracer, and then that's going to fade out, and that is going to help us make the final one. This one you can have a lot of fun with. Let's see. I'm going to start drawing these first, just like that. I'm going to make it like, you can make it like gold if you want. Let's just do gold. And this one I want to make sure it looks nice and clean, so I'm going to add a trim paths. There we go. And cut it. There we go. Now I'm going to duplicate that, bring this over, and bring this over. Okay, I do want to see my squares, so I don't want that to disappear. I know these are my squares over here. So I'm gonna get rid of some of that tracer over there, just so I could see where these go. So that helps a lot more because I know that I want to make sure that this ends right over here, and then this you can extend all the way here. Okay, now I'm gonna duplicate that. Okay, so that, I'll duplicate that guy, and I'm gonna do that, bring this over, and bring this over. Okay, so that's like my first. Duplicate that. This is the final part, so we're almost there. Get this guy in. There we go. There we go. So that one's done. And then this one. There we go. There we go. Right, just like that. Duplicate that, hit G. I want to make sure I grab this. I want to make sure I grab that. And the third point here as well. There we go. And then Command D that. I'll make sure I grab this and this, and I want this. Okay. I also want to make sure that this one goes a little bit up. Just want to make sure they touch right there. Sure that touches there. Okay. Command D that. And then there. Command D that. Duplicate that, Command D that. Oh, that's weird. I happen to do a terrible job in this one. I'm going to fix that right away. There we go. And then bring that here. Bring this here. And bring that here. Okay. So here we go. One more to go here. Command D that. And here. And here. And there we go. Whoops. V, and then just bring that here. Okay, now we're just going to do the final. Just fill up the edges because I want to make sure it's not just, you know, the star. We want to make sure that we can see the square as well. Bring that here. Okay, I just deleted that point because I want to make sure that we're just interested in the square. You guys can definitely do the cleanup, but I just want to be able to show you like how nice it looks when you're putting this together. Bring that and bring that together here. Okay, that, Command D that. Oh, I made a mistake by covering up this one. This needs to be like separate. You want to see that. But I made the stroke width so yeah, a little bit high, so you can't really see the gap as much over there. I want to make sure that I can go wrap around here. And you guys can get really creative with this, you know, put your own designs inside. But I'm just showing you how to animate these because it's just so cool. Command D that. And then that and that. That. There you go. So that's one square. I'm going to delete that. Now we're going to do this one. Here. There. Command D. Bring that over. Bring that over. Bring that. And there you go. Now I've connected that one. Again, I'm not doing the cleanup. Just connecting these guys here. I'm going to pull this way and this way. Okay. Command D that. And there we go. Command D. And there. So that's like the second one. And now the final square. Command D. And I'm going to find, there it is. There. And there we go. That's like, make sure I see the gap. Okay. So that is now the final pattern. And then I'm going to hit U and grab all these keyframes over here. I'm gonna hit, I'm gonna right click here, keyframe assistant, easy ease. I'm going to just make sure I have all of them. There we go. There. Oops. Here, hold shift so it doesn't move. There you go. Okay, so this is kind of like a rough animation of how it comes together. I just thought it was really cool when I did this animation and I put it together. So you guys can try this too. And yeah, it's a lot of just making the shapes, following the actual steps that you do when you're constructing it on paper. And yeah, and then you could time it however you feel like. There we go. So that's how I ended up making this animation in that video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.